Hello everyone, this is Vasif here. I wanted to make this video for a little while and I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to make it. Um, Lately I've been trying to make videos that are more relevant that most people are interested in doing, including my own family members. I've got an inquiry about mining equipment. Okay. Um, I've been mining since 2014, I believe, and off and on. But I tried to do it as long as was profitable. I mean, keep in mind my electricity rate is 12 cents per kilowatt at home. So I live in Oregon, and that's what the rate is. This includes all the charges. I don't go with what rate the bill says, like it's the total cost. You basically take your monthly bill and you divide by the number of kilowatts, and that gives you what your dollar cost per watt is. So that's how you measure it. A lot of people don't do it correctly and they say it's much lower. You know, technically, yeah, it looks lower, but distribution charges are also part of your bill. Anyway, this is not about power cost. This is about mining equipment. So there are two choices I'm going to show you. So number one choice right here. This is a triple fan, beefy card from that era. This is how I started getting into mining. I was doing Litecoin mining with these guys. This is a MSI Lightning R290 triple fan, very beefy video card. If you look at the thickness, you don't need this beefy. I know I had some stock reference cooler design ones. Those were bulk of it, but I've sold most of them. This one developed a problem, so that's why it's still here, but it will sell. I just have to lower the price. So was my first mining hardware to mine, get into crypto. All right, so a lot of you are not probably interested in ASICS. This is an application specific integrated circuit board right here. This thing consumed about 360 watts, if I remember correctly, and I undervolted this thing to extend the life of it to 170 watts. So this one was like mining a 160 gigahertz. At that time, that was pretty fast. Remember, these came in 2013, as you can see right here on the date. They were the OGs of the mining, Bitmain ASIC miners. New, they were about $2,000, and in the end, I couldn't even sell these for $25. Now, look at the beefy heatsink. The fans, the aluminum heatsinks are worth way over $25, but that's reality of the ASICs. Okay, so brand new $2,000, depreciated to $25, which is less than the scrap value of this. So people were buying these for scrap. The fan alone is worth $25 in this because the ball bearing high flow fans in there. So yeah, but the heatsink, the fans should be valued more than $100. So I think you can still use these fans for the new ASICs if you have to replace the fans on the new ASICs. But my point here is that they depreciated really fast and really bad. Nothing that I have experienced with the GPU like that. So these GPUs, I believe I paid like $125 to $200 per GPU, and I mind they paid several times what I paid for them, and they still hold their value. Like even in this state right now, this thing is worth over $100. Like not working still worth $150. So basically very little to no depreciation on this card. So not saying that equipment doesn't depreciate, but you really need to know when you're buying mining equipment, what the depreciation is on individual equipment before you invest your money in it. Now, if you buy ASICs, they're built for one thing only, mining, and they're not really able to do much else. So basically, you are buying a toaster that you can only use it for a toast. You cannot do any other thing on it. Like the S1 ASIC miners were built for SHA 256 algorithm, and that's what they mined. And at the time, they were pretty good. They were beating the GPUs. That's why I bought them. And they were not that much more expensive. Like maybe 2 GPU cost, because a couple of $100 I could have a GPU, or actually 4 GPUs depending on how good of a deal I get on used video cards. That's another thing. Of course, the video cards, when they're new, they're more expensive. Used video cards are generally cheaper. So you don't want to buy brand new stuff if you can. I mean, and I realize that many of the people who are doing mining are not real businessmen. So they're really mostly technical people, and they're trying to figure out, like me. I ran into mining by accident, so I wasn't really thinking about doing mining, and I didn't even know what it was. I just was purchasing graphic cards for my systems. I have a old thinking that you need to have up-to-date hardware. So I had like 4 or 5 computer desktops in my house that I like to maintain and upgrade the video cards. So I went purchasing video cards for it, and somebody asked me, because that was not typical purchase, like most people buy 1 GPU. I was buying 4 or 5. They asked me if you were mining, and I said, what is mining? And they didn't answer that. So I was like, oh, okay. Then I searched it, and I found out that I can actually use these video cards to make money, which was nice. So I learned all that stuff because somebody just left a pointer for me. So I took it from there, got into mining, and then I bought more cards. And I didn't buy brand new cards like everybody else was doing. I was like, and they were sold out very fast anyway. So I went with what's the most value for mining, and I bought those cards. And I ended up having, like, what was it, 100 cards or something like that. So I had pretty extensive setup, but then the lifetime mining profitability was going down. So I decided to have a 50-50. So I basically went with ASICS from Bitmain. Initially, when I was getting in, and they were pretty cheap, they're not that expensive, like the way the prices are right now of the latest miners. So at that time, they were pretty inexpensive. Not many people were buying, so the company wasn't trying to get as much dollar for their equipment like they're doing right now. And they were not mining with their equipment either at that time. So anyway, I was buying ASIC miners. But what I realized, that the depreciation is really high on these ASIC equipment, but they are able to mine more profitably. So when I had them at the peak, I had enough miners to mine about 0.8 Bitcoins per day. Okay, that's what, and I wanted 0.1 Bitcoin a day. That was the goal. At that time, I think the Bitcoin was like $600 some, maybe a little higher. So it wasn't that much. So, and I was, of course, not thinking about investing. I was thinking about running it as a business. So I was cashing out all the Bitcoin. So mined over 300 Bitcoins that way. But my power will wasn't cheap either. It was $2,200 a month running all that equipment, and that was the peak in my garage. I had a pretty powerful 240 volt industrial barn fan that I put in my garage. And I had a lot of circuits from my breaker box, so I balanced it nicely. So like it wasn't like even though I was running miners at 110, but I had it balanced, so I made sure that both legs of my split phase are not unbalanced. So I did that, and I didn't basically plug in extra outlets and all this stuff to make sure that I can plug in, and I made sure the power stays within the limit of the circuit. Okay, so I did all that, wired everything, but this is not about that. This is about the mining equipment. So yes, you can mine but the point is they depreciate, the equipment depreciate. So, and also depends on how much you pay for it. I never bought anything pre-order. I don't believe in somebody saying that we will have a miner in 2 months from now, when 3 months from now, and saying that it will mine at this rate, and people are buying equipment because they think, oh yeah, they're gonna have that equipment in 3 months. Who knows what the mining profitability will be in 3 months? And I said, nope, I want it quickly. I don't want to be sold on something that's not available in the market. So anyway, I never bought pre-orders. Some people did, and they never got their equipment. The companies just didn't deliver, and they lost their money. So that was the really early OGs of Bitcoin, people who were mining on Bitcoin on laptops, which I didn't do. So I started with Litecoin, then I got into ASICS, and then when I realized that ASICS were not as profitable, I got rid of them. I think I went as far as S7. I never bought an S9 or above. Because by that time I realized that what is happening is that the Bitmain and all other mining companies or miner manufacturers, they are mining with their original equipment when they make it for early on, like till they have new equipment ready, and then basically sell the old stuff to the general public, and they put the newer miners for themselves. And that's how they were doing it. So everything was cool till they were not competing with the actual miners. But now these manufacturers were mining themselves, and they were selling basically older equipment to general public, and they're still doing it. I don't believe in, and they're also charging a lot more because people don't understand the complexity of cryptos mining. So, you know, there's a hash rate, there's a difficulty chart. So what happens is that when you are the manufacturer and you know ROI on equipment very well, and you are selling your used equipment for more than what the ROI is, or at the ROI, you don't have much meat left on those miners. So the miners are really not going to make you that much money, and they know very well when the next equipment is going to come, and you don't know. So if they sell you a miner and they come up with a twice as fast, better miner, now you're stuck with it because the newer miner is worth more, and of course people are going to want that, but you're not the manufacturer. You're basically relying on whatever the manufacturer is selling. And manufacturer, why would they sell you the equipment when they can mine themselves with the same equipment? So the ASIC miner, unless you're manufacturing your own equipment, I don't think that's a very good idea. Now, GPU miners, the reason why GPUs are more profitable and a better choice right now for mining is because the GPU manufacturers generally they are not, I don't know, maybe they are getting themselves into mining too, but GPU manufacturers are not really into mining for themselves. So they they were traditionally less expensive, but now we notice that the GPU prices are basically going up because it's shortage, because people are opening mining farms left and right, and GPUs are becoming harder to get, and GPU manufacturers are also realizing that that is the case. So they are okay with charging more to people because there are people willing to buy. So as far as that goes, that option is also not good. When I so I never sold my GPUs when the mining profitably dropped, because I was hopeful that the mining profitably go up. So I just turned on off my machines, and I kept my GPUs and my mining motherboards and stuff like that ready to power on as soon as the mining goes up, because I had noticed in the past, when I think it was like 2018 or something, when the profitably went up, and I was able to ramp up my machines quickly and get those Ethereums, because I was mining Ethereum at that time, and it was pretty good because I had my equipment ready. I didn't have to salvage parts from here and there. Everything was ready. I just had to turn it on, and it was mining very quickly, because that was a very short window when before everybody got back into the mining. So I left my equipment, which was basically GPUs, on, and I still had it till recently when I was selling. When the mining started again, and I realized that I couldn't mine with my older 4 gigabyte GPUs. So I sold all of those also on eBay. And then I purchased the 8 gigabyte GPUs, and I got a really good deal. I bought it in end of in 2020, and like the same time, December 2020, I purchased it from Newegg, and I paid like really low normal prices, around $200, $230 maybe per GPU, and I bought like 30 GPUs from there. And then I purchased some newer GPUs. They were like $500 from Best Buy, and then from eBay. And so overall I had about 40 GPUs. I still have 40 GPUs right now, mining every day. So they have gone from profitability of like $100 to maybe $200, $300 a day, with the same hash rate. That's because when the Ethereum profitably goes up, when the Ethereum value goes up, of course, then the hash rate goes up too, and then it settles down. So right now, today, is about $80 with the same number of GPUs. And this is before taking into account the electricity cost. So yeah, cheaper power means more profitably, but at the same time, still more hash rate means more profitably also. But there's also I never bought any of those now new Unreal prices, because I know those cards are going to depreciate. They're high because there's extraordinary demand for mining and gaming and all the stuff right there right now. So people are paying really 3 times, 4 times the price of the card. So the card I bought for $500 is worth like $1,200, $1,500. So that's not a good price to pay. So I never bought at any of those prices. All my cards were purchased like in 2020, and 2021 I bought no new video card. I was just waiting for the prices to get normal again, and I was going to invest, but I wasn't going to invest that kind of money. Like, I wanted a 3080 graphic card that was mining at almost like 93 to 100 mega hashes, but that card, even when I was buying, was like around $1,000, and it became $2,000, and I wasn't going to pay $1,000 extra, because that means you have to use that card. When you buy it for $2,000, it will take longer to ROI. So all right, so I shared my experience with the idea that you will be able to understand how it is to mine. You're focused on what is the right price for buying your equipment. Now, mining is very competitive. When the profits go up, you will get people from left and right. Everybody wants to do mining. Who doesn't want to do mining? Means, but the people who have seen the ups and downs of mining, they buy hardware and they're in for a long run. They never spend uh, uh, those prices that a normal person right now or new person is willing to spend right now. They always get deals. So if your cost is too high, you might not break even. So just keep that in mind. And what else I'm going to say? It's just a highly competitive business if you are scaling it up. I tried to scale it up. I rented a 3-phase industrial place, and my rent was only $500 because it was just a room and I had 3-phase power in there. And the power cost that I had arrangement with the building manager was about 8 cents. So it was literally costing me, if you include the cost of rent, it was costing me about 12 cents per kilowatts, because I was including the rent into it too. So yeah, your overhead is always going to be, so if you have a big facility, now you have to have more miners. You don't have choice. You might have to pay more money for those miners, and not a good way to scale. Because I've seen properly tank, even with really low power cost, you still have overhead, and you were not even, if you investing your own money, then it's a different story. But if you're asking other people to invest money into mining, and you are literally going to basically the last person to lose money on that, you will basically take your money and go run away. And I don't want to do anything like that. So I will not, in my mining, I never borrowed anybody's money. I use my own money. And I started with that, and it's really, and I knew when to stop or slow down, because I knew that mining is downturn. Like, you notice that the difficulty is going up. It's always going up. Hash rate is going up. Hash rate goes up, difficulty goes up. Prices fluctuate. Right now, we're lucky that the prices are not going down. Like, I saw Ethereum price go from 4,200 all the way to 1,700, and that was pretty scary. Then they're talking about ending mining, Ethereum mining altogether. What will happen if they did? Developers, the only reason they're not ending mining is because they are afraid how will affect the value of Ethereum, because they don't know how many of those people who have Ethereum holdings are miners. So if they alienate those miners, how much of the value is going to tank? They just don't know that variable, because when you have an ecosystem that's working, like proof of work, and if they go to proof of stake and the miners are not happy, because now they're not making money, and they get resentful to Ethereum developers, and they sell their Ethereum and move on to a different coin like Bitcoin or maybe some other coin, then the Ethereum developers are going to lose big time. So they're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. That's why they've been talking about proof of stake since 2016, when the Ethereum started. Ever since they were saying the proof of work is going to be for very short time, and then they're going to go to proof of stake, and they never did it because of the fear that I just mentioned. So they're not that nice. The other thing you have to notice that all these developers on Ethereum or any other coin, they give themselves certain coins, as a reward or token, whatever it is. So they don't really talk about it, but they do. Like Vitalik had like million Ethereums, so he's banking on the fact that the Ethereum value is going up. So he's more at stake than a miner does. Like they miners generally, like how I used to be is I used to cash every time. Like I mined over 3,000 Ethereums and I cashed every single one of them. I mean, it was a business idea. I mean, like I was mining and I was taking my profit right away. Now, granted, if I kept the Ethereum with me, then I would have made a lot more money because I would be a millionaire by now. But I didn't do that, and because I had expenses and I had to pay the bills. It wasn't a hobby. It started as a hobby, but it became a business. So I relied on the income from that business. So it wasn't taking that much of my time because I had a job at that time too. But this was like a part-time thing, but still supplemented my expenses, and I reinvested in mining equipment, which is something I shouldn't have done because I lost some money because of that thing too. I didn't lose money overall in the mining. I made money, but I should have stopped myself from investing in machines that were depreciating so fast, like ASICS. Even though ASICS made me money, but GPUs made me more money. So my recommendation would be, if you want to get into mining, go with a GPU. Don't touch ASICs. They're not going to give you ASICs for cheap, because they are miners. Basically, they're mining themselves, so they really don't have any incentive to give you something that's making them money, because they can mine with the same equipment. So why would they, unless they were not mining, which is not the case. So unless you make your own ASICs, don't get into it, because if you can make your own ASICs, then you can get a good deal. The cost of building an ASIC is not that much. You just need a more efficient hash rate, and just like CPUs, you add more transistors in there, and you get more work out of each chip, and they take less power. They're able to give you more hash rate. That's how it is. So whoever comes out with the best chip is the one that's going to be very well off, assuming the mining stays on. So Bitcoin, they don't have any plan of proof of stake. They only have proof of work, which has been there. But gives you an idea right now, Ethereum mining is 3 times more profitable than Bitcoin mining altogether. So Bitcoin miners, with all their equipment, all their power consumption, they still 1/3 of the profitability of Ethereum mining right now. So that's one of the reasons why there is such a GPU shortage. I don't have thousands of video cards, but there are farms out there, literally tens of thousands of video cards, like crunching, and they're very happy, they're very profitable. So keep that in mind. But if you get mining equipment like that at current prices, it's a big gamble. Now, one thing that nobody has any control over is the price of Ethereum. That is a big factor. Like when it went from $42 to $1,700, of course your per day earning went down. I think it was like $70 or something for me. But when it did go to $4,200, I was making like $300. So it was really good and then bad. So luckily stable, price is stable now to $4,000 as of today. But the hash rate has tripled or quadrupled since I mined starting this year. So more video cards become available, then they go online, and you just have more hash rate. So I hope you learned something from this kind of video. I didn't want to mix everything together, but I just wanted to give people those ideas. Basically, if your family member asks you about mining, that means, you know, there are a lot of people who are curious, want to get into the mining. They have no idea. Not your mining. I mean, if you mine, you mine. I don't have any problem with people mining. It's like not going to affect my mining that much that I care. You know, it's just, you know, I will mine with my equipment. If somebody is buying 40 GPUs and they're mining, more power to them. They just need to make sure that they pay very reasonable prices for the GPUs. Or ASICs, I don't think they're ever going to be reasonable anymore. So I would stay away from the ASICs. GPUs, if you get a good deal on a GPU and you have cheap power, go for it. But don't think that I'm trying to discourage people from mining. It's just that I think a lot of people are in with way more money, and they're going to see the reality. They're probably experiencing it already because the hash rate is going up. And so if you bought a $2,000 graphic card and it's not earning you $15 or $20 a day, now it's earning you $6 or $7. Your ROI is going to be very long time. So keep that in mind. I've already multiple time ROI'd on my cards. To give you an idea, I paid like $15,000 for my 40 GPUs, and I have ROI'd maybe 3 times, 4 times maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so I never spend any, you know, I mean, 40 GPUs for $15,000, that is cheap. Yeah, they are not, and I know I can sell them right now for double their money. So I can get $30,000 for the GPUs even after ROIing on them. But I don't want to ROI. I mean, I don't want to sell them till they are making me money. So, you know, if they're making me money every month, that's income that I can, you know, add on to the top of the cost of them, because my GPUs are really not going to depreciate that much. Because I didn't pay $2,000 for a GPU. I paid $200 for a GPU. So I hope you learned something from this. I hope you like this kind of video. I have a lot of information about it, and I tried to cram a lot of information in this video. Didn't want to put all that information in one video, but I don't care. I'm not monetized. If you like this kind of videos, you are into crypto, and please like, share, subscribe, and I'll add more videos like this for your benefit. If you have any questions, you can comment it and I'll try to answer it for you. And, you know, yeah, just trying to grow my YouTube channel, to be honest with you. That's the reason why I'm sharing this information, because there's nothing else in it for me here, because a lot of people are into crypto, and they're not about sharing because they don't have a YouTube channel, or if they do have a YouTube channel, they're not really into mining, because you know, if you're into mining, you're making good money. You can supplement your stream. I guess you can have multiple streams and you can do it, but you know, it takes quite a bit of time if you have a big farm to maintain it. So, but yeah, I don't have a big farm, but I do have a small farm, and it's been running for over, I mean, off and on since 2014, but lately it's been doing very well, even with the low high hash rates. Okay, all right, thank you, bye.